All right, so please feel free to follow along in your literary chart, whether it's in the notebook or the electronic version, as I guide you through the notes. All right, so 1, you have your protagonist. This is usually your main character. You may call them the good guy. I have examples here. Yesterday we read The Orange. There's the Orange. That was your main character. We have Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games and Harry Potter. 2, Antagonist. This is usually the bad guy, but it is not always the bad guy. It is a character or force that's against the main character, causes conflict. So think the hatchet. It's not technically a person, but it's actually the force of nature that is the antagonist against the main character, if you have read it. So it is not actually always a person. It could be an actual force. If you want to watch the video, certainly can. I'm going to skip through it. Setting, the time and place of the story. So it was a hot, sunny day in the middle of September when I decided to go for a long walk along the Mississippi River, downtown St. Paul. So you know exactly where I am. I described the day. I described the time. You know what I'm doing. So it's time and place of the story. Down there, I have a picture of the Hunger Games when they're in, I think it's number 2. So the setting of the area of where they're going to do their next trials and battle. Characterization. So this is describing the individual quality of a person or thing. So usually the character, so describing Harry Potter, he was an orphan. He's kind of the hero of the story. So describing his physical traits, he has the cut, and his personality traits. So both personality traits and physical traits of those characters. Conflict. So the struggle between opposing forces that drives the story. There may be a bunch of different conflicts. Entangled, she needs to find out where she's from and get to the castle. And Frodo, if you're a Lord of the Rings guru, he is just trying to get rid of the ring. So that's the main conflict in the story, trying to get rid of the ring. But there might be multiple conflicts within a story, not just one. Plot. So we're going to talk about the plot mountain. As you can see there, it's the main events of a play, novel, movie, or similar work devised and presented by the writers in a sequence. So you have the exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution in that order. So that is the plot of the story. And we'll take a look at that next week a little bit more closely. Exposition, this is the very beginning of the story. So for those of you who've seen Lord of the Rings or read Lord of the Rings, you can see Frodo and the White Witch. I mean, not the White Witch. I forget his name right now. Gandalf sitting there at the very beginning of the story. And then in Hunger Games, you can see Katniss at the very beginning in District 12, just walking along the fence. So that's the very beginning of the story. That's the exposition. 8, rising action, a series of relevant incidents that create suspense, interest, or tension in the narrative. So that's, think of it going up the mountain. What is happening? What's going on? A lot of times your protagonist is facing many different obstacles or battles before they reach the climax. Think of the climax, which is next, the Big Bang. This is the most intense part of the story. This is the make or break moment for the protagonist. So in Frodo, he finally goes, it's done. He gets rid of the ring and it's finally gone at the very, very end. So it's the big make or break moment, the final battle. 10, resolution, the ending of the story where the conflict is resolved. So everything's back to good. There's no more conflict and the protagonist can finally relax. And then 11, what did the protagonist learn? So this is a universal truth or underlying message revealed by the story. So those are a few different themes that are often used in stories. There's may not always be one theme within a given story. All right. And that's what you need to do after you watch this.